Ever felt like someone's words just don't match their actions, but you can't quite put your finger on why? Or notice them always claiming to know what's right or wrong? What if I told you these could be signs of covert narcissism? We've all heard about the big red flags of a covert narcissist, but let's be real. If it were that obvious, they wouldn't be covert. In this video, I am going to share 9 lesser-known signs that might surprise you. Perhaps you're in a relationship now, suspecting your partner might be a covert narcissist. Maybe one or more of these signs will ring true for you. Knowing these signs could protect your emotional well-being, help you navigate relationships more wisely, and even save you from potential heartache. And the 9th sign is something that very few people discuss openly, and you will probably understand why. Ready? Let's get started. Sign number 1, when they apologize, it's never straightforward. Instead of just admitting they were wrong, they twist it so it seems like you're at fault for feeling upset in the first place. So instead of saying, "I'm sorry I hurt you," they'll say something like, "I'm sorry you felt hurt by what I said." Sounds like an apology, but basically, they're putting the blame on you for being hurt, not on themselves for causing it. You might wonder why they do this. Well, for starters, it lets them look like the good guy because they said sorry, right? But at the same time, it messes with your head, making you doubt yourself and wonder if you're just being too sensitive. Here's an example of how this may play out. Your sibling borrows money and doesn't pay it back on time. When you ask, he says, "I'm sorry you're stressed about the money. I'll get it to you when I can." It's your fault for needing your own money back, apparently. Sign number 2, their smile is weird. It's kind of like watching a robot trying to act human. There's zero real warmth or happiness in it, just a weird mismatch between their eyes and mouth. They just use it as a tool to make a certain impression. Sign number 3, they don't care about your emotions and feelings. Ever watched a toddler taste lemon for the first time? How their face morphs from curiosity to shock and then to utter disgust. That's pretty much how a covert narcissist reacts when confronted with genuine emotions. Keep in mind, not everyone who's uncomfortable with emotions is a narcissist. Fear of emotional expression could also be due to past trauma or PTSD. It's crucial to consider the whole situation before making any judgment. But yes, sometimes this is a sign that this person is a covert narcissist. If you open up to them, you might just get a blank stare, or they might fidget, tense up, or quickly change the subject. Why? Because emotional closeness feels to them like an unfamiliar territory where they do not have any control, so they don't know how to handle it. Another telling response of a covert narcissist is when they might switch the topic or twist it to focus on themselves, showing emotions that just don't fit the moment. When you get emotional with them, they fail to see the point in engaging, as it doesn't serve their self-interests. If you're feeling down, they'll overshadow it with their own issues, making everything about them again. Or if you're sharing good news, they'll downplay it, leaving you feeling insignificant. For example, let's say you had a big argument and you're trying to express how hurt you felt. He nods, throws in a half-hearted, "Sorry you feel that way," then shifts gears to check his fantasy football scores. Here's another likely scenario. While watching a movie, you tear up at a scene that hits close to home. He sees you, pauses the movie to talk about how it reminds him of something totally unrelated from his childhood. Sign number 4, they encourage you to open up about your issues, but clam up when it's their turn to share. At first, you might think they really care, but they are just gathering ammo. They listen to your problems, then use what you tell them as a way to get the upper hand, either by holding it over you later or just making sure they stay on top in the relationship. When it comes to talking about their own stuff, forget about it. They won't go there because they're scared of looking less than perfect. Admitting they've got problems too doesn't fit with the image they're trying to sell you, that they've got everything figured out. Sign number 5, they act like they've got some kind of sixth sense. Covert narcissists are really good at making you think they can read your mind or know your feelings better than you do. Saying stuff like, "I know what you're really thinking," or "You don't understand your own emotions." Don't confuse this with how empaths are naturally in tune with how people feel. That's a whole different thing. I'm talking about how covert narcissists use this fake, "I know you better than you know yourself," act not to help or give real insight, but to take control. Here's an example of this behavior. Let's say you decide to start a side hustle, something you're passionate about. The response you get, "Oh, you're just trying to prove something to yourself." Or maybe you tell them you want to move to a new city. They respond, "You're just running from your problems." Sign number 6, their actions don't match up with what they say, and this isn't just once in a while, it happens all the time. This kind of behavior comes from not really getting how to empathize with you. Covert narcissists are good at saying the right things. They know how to make themselves sound caring and attentive because it helps them control how others see them. But when it comes down to actually showing care or putting someone else first, their true self-centered colors show. Say you're gearing up for a very important social event for your new business. A lot is riding on how well it goes. He promises to be there for you. He assures you he knows how important it is. Come the day, he's a no-show, claiming something's come up, but sends a good luck text. Sign number 7. They are very black and white. This attitude helps them feel in charge and above everyone else. If you dare to disagree with them, watch out. They don't just see it as a difference of opinion, they take it as a personal attack on their authority. So they'll lash out, trying to make the other person feel small or stupid, all to keep their top dog status and stop anyone from questioning them again. This kind of thinking also shows they're not great with handling life's gray areas or understanding that situations can be complex. Sign number 8. They don't genuinely care to learn more about other people's beliefs, likes, or experiences. This is because to them, everyone else is just kind of a background character in their story, important only if they're making the narcissist look good or feel better about themselves. It's not that they're just uninterested in socializing. It goes deeper than that. They're not really capable of feeling empathy or genuinely connecting with others. But unlike with regular narcissists, a covert narcissist is much less likely to outright dismiss you. Instead, they'll subtly steer everything back to themselves, or just quietly tune out. There is that last hidden sign I promised. But first, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with someone you love. Sign number 9. They dictate what's morally right or wrong. Covert narcissists act like they've got a monopoly this matter, but in reality, it's not about morals for them. It's a way to control and boost their own image. They use these so-called moral beliefs to criticize and manipulate people. Hooking onto things like religion or spirituality gives them a perfect stage. These areas are personal and generally off limits for criticism, which makes it tough for anyone to challenge them without seeming like the bad guy. But the truth is, their dedication to these moral or spiritual codes is pretty shallow. They cherry pick whatever benefits them and ignore what doesn't, all to justify their actions or to keep a tight grip on others. I hope you can spot these not so obvious signs of someone being a covert narcissist from a mile away if they ever cross your path. That's all for today's video. I hope it gave you some. If you found it helpful, I'd love to hear from you in the comments.